Hello, everybody. A very warm welcome. Good morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hello to wherever you are, Southern California, Connecticut, London, East Sussex. Great to have you all here. A very, very warm welcome to episode 53, I think, of the Reiki Revolution YouTube show. And today will be very practical, technical, going into the subject of how to build a really successful Reiki practice and make Reiki your profession if you wish to do so. So a very warm welcome to everybody, especially to Betsy. I can just see that she's become a new member. And I think I hardly ever mention that, but it is possible to become a member of the Reiki Revolution channel. It's somewhere when you go to YouTube, the Reiki Revolution, and go into the page of the channel. It's somewhere there, and there are different monthly membership options, and it's a great way to support the work that we are doing, bringing more Reiki into the world, reaching out to people, and supporting each other. So thank you so much, Betsy, for joining. And yes, so that's very nice. It just kind of stands out. So it kind of flags to me as with a green background that there's a new member. And great having you all here. Absolutely wonderful. Apologies for the time confusion last time. As I said, there was the transition from summertime to wintertime a week later in the US compared to Europe, and therefore we had to make this adjustment. So last time it was at 7 p.m. UK time. Now it's back for the rest of, well, certainly for the rest of the winter time, at 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Rest of Europe, 12 noon California, Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and I have no idea about all the time zones, but isn't it incredible that we can connect throughout these different time zones, and that we can even connect if you are fast asleep while I'm doing the show, and you can just see it later, watch it later, and feel the energy, and even join in the Reiki shares. So it's just wonderful. I'm just kind of looking who is on there and how many people there. This is fabulous. So wonderful having you all here. Now, there are so many questions about becoming a Reiki practitioner, and a lot of people are shying away from that step. When I launched my online courses, I still remember the first student I had was a lady from Arizona. And she did the course, and then she took out professional liability insurance, and she sent me a picture saying, it's now on my wall, the insurance certificate and the Reiki certificate, and I have just had my first client as a Reiki practitioner. This is as easy as it is. All you basically need to do is to get liability insurance, which is not because Reiki is dangerous, but quite simply, when we run a business, when we do anything in the public domain that is paid for, we need insurance. If you do it in an unpaid capacity, just giving Reiki to friends and family, you don't need insurance, at least not in Europe, but as far as I'm aware, also not in the US. But if you are getting money, you are running a business, and a business needs a liability insurance. The premiums for these insurance options, there are different ones. It's pretty much the same, I believe, in America as it is in Europe. So it's somewhere, if it's Reiki only, it's somewhere around $50 or $80, and 35 or 50 pounds or euros. It's very, very cheap. And from that, I conclude there has never been a claim in the history of these policies, because that is what insurance companies do. They regularly look after, how their policies are performing, and about the payouts. And if the payouts are high, due to a risk, then they will obviously increase the premium. So one could argue that Reiki is officially deemed risk-free. And if somebody gets healing, if somebody has a spiritual breakthrough, if somebody feels love and connection, that's something nobody can sue you for. um, but of course, Reiki is a complementary therapy, and it may not be the only available option or the only necessary option. Even when I sometimes give a Reiki treatment, I have the feeling this person needs surgery, or this person needs something else in addition to just Reiki, and then I say it. So if we approach Reiki with the awareness, it is a wonderful modality, but it is not necessarily all that the person needs. We may get an intuition, or they may just have prescription medications and stuff like that. Then Reiki can support that and can help with that, but it doesn't have to replace that. And with this in mind, Reiki is safe because we are aware that it is a complementary therapy. Of course, sometimes it is the only therapy we need, but that is something that ultimately the client needs to decide. And therefore, again, it is not our liability. So Reiki is safe, Reiki works, and you are listening right now because you know it. You are listening because you have realized you have applied the power of Reiki in your everyday life, for yourself, for friends and family. And you have so many stories of friends and family and your own life showing the incredible effects of Reiki. And this is the starting point. So if you feel this is so amazing, I want to do that regularly, I want to do that more often, I want to, if I can, become a professional Reiki practitioner, this really is the starting point. It's all about you and what you want. Nobody who's learned Reiki is required to become a professional practitioner. It is a gift. People can use it for themselves. Something was at the door. I don't know what that is. Probably a delivery from Amazon. So if you want to use Reiki for yourself, if you want to use Reiki for your pets, if you want to use Reiki for friends and family, that's perfectly fine. There is no judgment. It's an incredible gift, an opportunity, a tool in everyday life, and just use it how it feels right for you. But if you feel this is really something that I want to do regularly, I want to do professionally, and also make money with it, then become a professional Reiki practitioner. The money issue is a big issue. First of all, of course, we can make money with Reiki. But is that ethical? Reiki has done so much for ourselves. Reiki has brought change. Reiki has supported us. Reiki has done incredible things for our lives. So how can we possibly charge for something that is just there? That we just need to say, okay, I'm now connecting to Reiki. We've got our tool, we've got our healing hands, and then we place them on somebody else. Well, we are not charging for Reiki. We're charging for our time. And we could spend our time in different ways. We could spend our time, investing on the stock market. We can spend our time cleaning the house. We can spend our time doing whatever profession we have learned to make money. And the thing is, we need to make money in order to survive. We need to feed ourselves. We need to pay for a place where we live. We need to clothe ourselves. We need to look after our kids. We need money to go out, enjoy ourselves. And we need money to also help other people. So money is a good thing to have. And I think that's a really important thing we need to realize. Money is something very positive if we use it in positive ways. It is simply a transaction. And it's good to make money. If we spend our time making money with something else rather than Reiki, very likely we don't have much time to use Reiki for other people. So in order to be able to provide this incredible service of giving a Reiki treatment to other people, we need to charge for it. So it's completely okay. It's completely ethical. Mikao Usui, the founder of Reiki, did charge for both Reiki treatments and Reiki teaching. So that is absolutely okay. It's ethical, even if it's necessary, because we need to survive and we need to have this income. So if we want to make the world a better place, we better charge for Reiki, because otherwise we are not putting as much energy into this idea, into building a business. What you charge is up to you. I would suggest looking at what other people charge in your area. Of course, if you give a treatment at home, it's cheaper for you overhead wise than renting a treatment room somewhere. If you have to travel, if you travel to people and take a treatment couch and go there by car, of course, all this needs to be taken into consideration. And not every person receiving Reiki has got an awful lot of money. So people may have a chronic illness and they may need regular treatments. People may have cancer and we have the feeling we really should give them Reiki every other day or something like that. Then, of course, you can suggest paying or being paid what the other person can afford, or you give them a special discount or something like that. But of course, we are Reiki practitioners. We would do that anyway. It's just in our nature. It's just what we do to make sure it's affordable. But also, we need to make sure that we can live, and this is very, very important. Reiki is in the world today, especially or primarily because Hawaii Takata, this lady who lived in Hawaii, brought Reiki into Hawaii, into the United States and Canada, and put so much effort into promoting Reiki. It really was a one-woman show in the 1940s and 50s, Reiki in the world, 60s even. So 70s even. She died in 1980. So since the 1970s, she had, or in the 1970s, she started to train more Reiki teachers. But until then, it was primarily her. So she really is responsible for the fact that today there are millions and millions of people in the world learning Reiki and practicing Reiki. And she lived relatively decent, well, pretty decent life based on this income. I learned recently that I think she owned or co-owned a hotel in Hawaii, and she was quite well off, and she made this money from Reiki. But what did she do? She brought Reiki into the world. So it is absolutely okay to charge for Reiki treatments. So with this out of the way, you can charge for Reiki, and you know that Reiki works for yourself, for other people. So there is absolutely no doubt that when you give Reiki, you are doing something good, something amazing for the person who is receiving the treatment. So now, what are the practical implications? What's holding you back? For a lot of people, it is the place where they can give Reiki treatments. And this really can be quite easy. You can do it from home. Put a treatment couch somewhere. I used to put it in my living room, just kind of move the things a little bit to the sides and put it there right in the middle. That's okay. People not coming to a fancy clinic. People are going to see you and receiving Reiki. Have a little chat, make people feel at ease, ask whether they've had treatment before, Reiki treatments before. If not, explain a little bit of what they might expect or might experience. Just reassure them, make sure that everything is safe, health and safety. So if people are in your house, make sure that there's no kind of carpet sticking up, that if people have to walk up and down stairs, there's a handrail, and even now, just remind people. Just say, well, it's a quite steep staircase. Please make sure that you hold on to the handrail when you walk up and down. Something like that. This is really all the health and safety that is required. And I think the most dangerous part of a Reiki treatment is getting on and off the treatment couches. Depending how high your treatment couch is, how tall the client is, you may want to put a little step, you may want to help them and make sure that they are comfortable. And then suddenly you have a client on your treatment couch. And the client closes their eyes. And now it's up to you and Reiki. Do you do the treatment? Or are you trusting that Reiki is working? So when you trust that Reiki is working, because you have had all this experience that Reiki is working for you and for friends and family, for people around you, when you've been on a Reiki course and you gave your first treatment to somebody and you got feedback, all this, just let that sink in. Remind yourself, yes, Reiki is working. In fact, I tend to find the more I take myself out, the more I set my intention that Reiki should take over during the treatment, that I'm not getting involved, that I'm just facilitating it, I'm observing it, and part of it, then I feel it's getting much stronger. And then you just, however you do it, you do your treatments. There is the important consideration whether you do it hands-on and hands-off. And in my experience, and I didn't really expect that, to be honest, the vast majority of recipients of Reiki are very happy with a hands-on treatment. Of course, we would never, ever place the hands anywhere near any private, personal body parts. So just place your hands on the shoulder, then above the breast of a female client. You just place your hands away, and then you can place them back on the stomach again if you wish. We can just always customize. We just must be so careful not to ever even accidentally touch any intimate areas of the body, even though, of course, the client is always fully clothed. And I normally place a sheet or a blanket over them because the body temperature can drop. Also in summer, when people just may be wearing shorts and a t-shirt or so, I still put a sheet there because I feel that if you don't place the hand on the bare skin, but on fabric, it is more intense, because people then don't kind of mistake the body heat for Reiki, or Reiki for body heat, but they really realize it's something else. It's just a strong current of universal life force energy that we're using. And then you get started, however you want to get started. Whether you have learned a certain set of hand positions that cover most of the body, and you just follow that. And of course, we all know the more we follow a certain routine, the less it becomes routine in Reiki. We may move our hands to the next position, and suddenly we feel we can't move from there anymore. It's so strong. And we stay there for the rest of the treatment. We may even feel drawn to going back to a position we've been before. I sometimes feel that I place my hand on one area, and then I feel drawn to placing the other hand somewhere else to kind of connect, to balance things. So this can be done hands-on, but all of that can be done hands-off as well. And if somebody requests a hands-off treatment, then just make sure that you keep your hands quite a bit up, say 3-4 inches or so, 10-15 centimeters, so that you don't accidentally touch the body of the person. Some practitioners are not comfortable doing a hands-on treatment. And that does not mean that you cannot give a Reiki treatment. It simply means that you are giving hands-off treatments. And this is how you do it. So if you decide you rather want to keep your hands away from the body, then by all means do so, and just don't give your client a choice. Just say, this is how I do it, because I can sense more with my hands slightly further away. I work with the energy field, with the auric field, and then just work like that. Most people give Reiki treatments lasting about 45 minutes to an hour. So it depends on what time you have, what time the client has. But I wouldn't really do it for less than 30 minutes. I would do it somewhere in the region of 45 minutes to an hour for a full Reiki treatment. Of course, if somebody comes with a physical problem, if they have a broken leg, or if they had recent surgery or so, then of course you go there primarily. But you may find that the injury, the pain, the problem people experiencing are connected with the lifestyle as well. So I had a knee problem recently, which today is better, which is great. It's just kind of flaring up a little bit. It's a torn ligament that I'd had for decades, ever since I was in my early 20s, but it's just kind of flaring up from time to time. But at some stage during a Reiki treatment, I had this intuition. I was already booked for surgery a few weeks later, and I had this intuition I didn't need surgery. And indeed, when my hips are aligned, then I can deal with the knee problem. But you need the knees in order to walk, in order to get further. And sometimes when we feel stuck in life, I find that this is when we have knee problems flaring up. So it may well be that somebody has a knee problem and you go to the knee, but you also go to their heart to open them up, to give them the confidence again, to go to the head, to open up their intuition and their connection and the trust again, and the realization that yes, they can walk forward, they can move forward. And I'm saying that very, very honestly. There is a lot going on in my life, lots of projects, and sometimes they just stall. And I wait for a week, I wait for 2 weeks, and I don't hear anything. And sometimes it's driving me mad. And this is when I feel my niece saying, "Hi, do you feel stuck?" And then things open up at some stage. And often it is simply a matter of trusting, of handing it over to the universe and saying, okay, whatever is right, I'm ready for this. So this is, you know that this is basically how to give a treatment. Follow your intuition and customize a treatment, get some feedback, make a few notes, so that when a person comes back a week later or a month later or 3 years later, then you know this happened in a previous treatment, and so you kind of know what's going on. You can ask them how they felt afterwards, because that is fascinating. I remember sometimes people get up and say, "Wow, this was incredible. That was amazing. It was so strong. It was so powerful." And at other times, somebody gets up and says, "Well, that was relaxing." And we are a bit disappointed. We think, okay, yeah, well, I know that Reiki is relaxing, but I was kind of hoping for some big breakthrough. Reiki does not stop after people had a treatment. It may set something in motion. People may have a vivid dream afterwards. People may feel a change the next day. People may get a job offer a few days later. It's something opens up. We are more aligned to our life path, to healing. The healing energies, the healing abilities in our bodies are stimulated. So that doesn't mean that everything is happening straight away. But the more feedback we get, say a week later when we see people again, or maybe you even want to phone people a week later and say, "I just wanted to check out how you felt after the treatment," you will get so much more feedback. So things are happening, not always straight away, but the more we build this library of experiences that we had and people around us had with Reiki, the more I find we simply trust. And that for many people is the most important question, we need clients. We can't have a thriving Reiki business if we do not have people wanting our treatments. So how do we get clients? The most important thing is to talk about Reiki, to go to the next party and tell everybody at the party just how excited you are because you finally decided to open your own practice and you're working from home and you do it because you also have a full-time job only Saturdays. That's perfectly fine. Or only twice a week in the evenings for 3 hours or so. You don't have to give up your job. You can add Reiki and see how it develops and how it feels for you. And at some stage, Reiki may take over completely, or you feel you kind of balance things out. But tell people excitedly about that you are a Reiki practitioner and why you're so excited. What Reiki did for you. Say, it's so incredible. I just had one of my first clients and that person had this problem or that problem. You don't have to go into too much detail. They must not be recognizable because, of course, we act within the framework of client confidentiality. But we can still say, well, there's somebody who had knee surgery recently and for weeks they've struggled and they were in pain, and after 2 Reiki treatments they were pain-free, or something like that. And just share your enthusiasm. When you take your kids to school, at the school gate, tell other parents that you are now offering professional Reiki treatments and that your daughter was getting Reiki for some problem she had recently and she felt so much better. When you go to your doctor, tell the people at the tell the nurses, tell the doctor, tell the people at the reception that you're now doing Reiki. They will very likely have heard of that. They may even say, well, I actually know somebody who was here recently and I feel they could do with Reiki. Do you have a card? And then you leave a card there. You can even ask if you can leave some business cards there at the reception or in a health food store, or just pass them to friends and family so that they can hand it to their friends. Talk about it. Talk of promotion. Now I'm back. So I hope you are back. There is this kind of sign there that the connection is not too good. So please, anybody, can you just let me know if you can still hear me, if you can still see me? Transmission stopped. Yes, so it should be back on now. Let's just wait for a moment. Maybe I should make a joke. Okay, should be back on. I can hear you now. Okay, wonderful. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, now the sign is not here anymore, so it should be okay. I have no idea what it is because one of these kind of Wi-Fi signs is full on and the other one wasn't, so may have been a problem with the software. Goodness gracious me, technology and me. But still, doesn't matter. We are back on. So, did I lose now what I was saying? I think it was about promotion and about talking about what you're doing and why you are doing it. Maybe you want to start giving a discount, saying normally I charge $80 for a Reiki treatment, but for the first month I charge 50% or something like that. Do an introductory offer, get people to your place and start giving Reiki treatments. You will be surprised. People are coming back. People love having Reiki. It is so incredibly helpful, it's important, you're changing people's lives. So talk about it. Print some business cards. Don't print 10,000. That's really, it's quite ridiculous. I once did a flyer and I thought, okay, so 200 is this amount, 500 is that amount, 2,000 is only twice the price. So I printed 2,000 and I handed out about 100 and I didn't quite know what to do with the rest. So I would do things within within reason and see how you want to start, get 100 or 200 business cards printed. Don't go into extremes. Just do a relatively cheap person. It's really so simple these days to do things online, to design your own business cards and then just hand them out. What's really important is to have a website. It's very, very important. And to build a website is not that difficult. And I'm saying that because I've built websites before, and if there's anybody not really into tech, then it's me. It's they're website builders. Just choose a domain name that makes sense to you. What I normally suggest is choosing a domain name that makes you identifiable. So if you say purplehealinglily.com, that may sound beautiful, but it's really not got that much to do with Reiki or yourself, unless you have purple hair and you're called Lily or something like that. But what I would say is Reiki in Glendale.com, Reiki in Southwest London.com. My apologies. Still the remains of a cold a little bit. So I would put something in the domain name that makes you recognizable and that can show, sorry about that, and that can show people where you are. Because a lot of people don't necessarily want to travel very long. So I need to do something. What is that now? So this is the good thing. But I always wonder, why do you never see that on the Oprah Winfrey Show or something like that? People getting red eyes because they have to sneeze or people blow their nose. I wonder if they cut it out. It's all in the editing. So my apologies for that. I look terrible now. But anyway, so you can see this is a real show. It's a live show. And this is where it is. So coming back to where we have the business cards? Printing, promoting websites. I think that's where we were. So do create a website. And on this website with a domain name that makes you identifiable, that can give a little bit of kind of information already where you are, what this is all about, then this is a good start. For the website itself, it doesn't need to be long. You need basically 4 elements for the website. The first element is yourself. When people Google Reiki in the Hollywood Hills or something like that, they are looking for a Reiki practitioner or Reiki teacher. They don't look for what Reiki is, because otherwise they wouldn't look for a person offering Reiki treatments. So they are looking for a practitioner. And that is really something we need to understand. It's not that we need to educate people primarily on what Reiki is. People will have done that already. They will have Googled Reiki. They will have bought a Reiki book. Somebody will have recommended Reiki to them. But what they're looking for is somebody they feel comfortable with to lie down on the treatment couch for an hour or so and get a Reiki treatment. So they need to establish a connection with you. And that is the key. And they may see you and think, yes, I trust that person. Don't know what it is. There is an energetic connection. So for me, the most important element of a Reiki website is to put a picture of you on the first page. However you want to do that, some people dress up, some people have a very kind of special idea about how they should come across. Be yourself. People are going for you as a person, and they will feel a connection. So this is really important, to build a website and to put a picture of you on there and put a short bio. Say, I'm a Reiki practitioner because Reiki changed my life. I'm a Reiki practitioner because I witnessed how Reiki helped my dog. I had never planned to be a Reiki practitioner, but when I went to a course and realized that I could have healing hands and I could feel something immediately, and I got the feedback from other students that something was happening, I realized this is what I want to do. This is what I want to bring into the world. Talk about your story. Talk about your life and how it brought you to Reiki. This is what people connect with. You may also say a few things about Reiki, just a few basics, that it is unintrusive, that there is no physical manipulation involved, that people stay fully clothed during a treatment, that it can be done hands-on or hands-off, that normally it's about an hour or 45 minutes, that people lay on a treatment couch, and if they can't physically, they can also sit in a chair. Things like that, potential experiences that you've had people who reported. Need to be a bit careful what we put on websites in terms of kind of marketing. But you can say, well, I've had clients who experienced pain reduction, who could sleep better, and something like that. Especially talk about yourself, how it helped you. This is what I would put on there. You can also put on there that it is used in over 800 hospitals in the United States, that in the UK it is recognized by the National Health Service, and it is used offered in many hospitals already as a complementary therapy. So there's a lot of credibility around Reiki. You can say where you learned Reiki and what level you're in, that you're a Reiki practitioner, which is normally Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. Shoden and Okuden in Japanese, or that you are a Reiki master, and just put this information on there. Your location, the price, and how to contact you. Whether you want to give away your telephone number, whether you have a form there that people can fill in, a contact form, or whether you give your email, but this is basically all you need to do. And then give it to the universe. There is a reason why you learned Reiki. There's a reason why you are now having this idea to go more professional and to go deeper and to share Reiki with other people. The rest is not up to you anymore. This is really what I wanted to share. If there are any questions, I'm just looking if there's anything. Let's just have a look. So far, I haven't really seen. I think there was one about the timing, how long is a regular Reiki session. So yes, so I would normally say about an hour, whether this hour is just the Reiki treatment or whether this hour includes a few minutes of conversation before and a few minutes of feedback afterwards, is basically up to you. Just from the practice, what I wouldn't do is offer people a cup of herbal tea and say, okay, so how was that for you? 2 hours later, you'll still be sitting there with your client. The tea will be too hot to drink initially, and they'll wait, and they'll talk about the Reiki treatment, and then they'll talk about their lives, and they'll talk about their jobs, they'll talk about their partner, they'll talk about their dogs, they'll talk about the weather. This is not really what the treatment is about. The treatment is very much about what Reiki is doing and to let that sink in. So I normally have a little bit of treatment, of feedback, and ask for some experiences, try to make some sense of some. And if sometimes we can't straight away, we just need to accept that it may be revealed later and we may be clearer the next day or a few days later. That's something that we can say. And I would just advise people to take some time for themselves, to go for a little walk, to have some fresh air, to take it easy afterwards, which is a wonderful way to also say, so I think it would be good thing for you to have some time on your own. So see you next week or something like that. Don't go into this trap of opening up and having very, very, very long conversations afterwards. It kind of veils the results of Reiki already a little bit, because people don't really focus on what they just experienced. They are so in this conversation now that it's almost like Reiki is not the focus as it should be. So therefore, I would strongly suggest not to make these conversations too long. You can always have more feedback when they come next time. And that's basically it. Just see. Go. Yes, so express treatments of 30 minutes or full session 60 to 75 minutes. That's a fabulous way to say, okay, have a short session and have a longer session, offer different options, see where it goes. You can go into corporations. Many big corporations have gyms, have meeting rooms, and have small rooms that you can hire. They might even give it to you for free if you work there. And once a week, one afternoon or so, you offer Reiki treatments to colleagues there. There are so many ways of bringing more Reiki into the world. What you need to do is to make sure that you know the local legislation, the country legislation, and the county, the state regulation about Reiki and about complementary therapies. There are some states in the United States where you are not allowed to do a hands-on treatment of Reiki unless you are a licensed massage therapist or physician. So just make sure that you see what's going on. You can always keep the hands off then. And to get around that, but make sure that you have a look at what the legislation says, and that's it. And yes, thank you, Deborah. Absolutely, make sure to drink a lot of water afterwards. So basically, make sure to tell your clients to drink a lot of water afterwards. It's to kind of replenish and to kind of flush things out of the body as well. So, and Camille is just sharing that she is hosting Reiki shares at public libraries in her region, which is great, free for participants, and the library even pays. How exciting is that? But that's another way to connect with people, but also to get clients. Give free Reiki treatments, give Reiki taster treatments at your kids' school, at work, at an event, at a health food store, whatever comes into your mind. Do some Reiki treatments, free Reiki treatments, like short taster Reiki treatments, and then invite people to do to come to experience a full Reiki treatment at your place, and you will build a thriving, wonderful, meaningful Reiki business yourself. So thank you for listening. And I'm so excited because I feel, and it's quite a lot of people watching today, I feel you are watching because either you are doing that already or you want to get into doing Reiki more professionally. And I think this is really the opportunity. In London, we offer the Reiki diploma. We offer the live courses that include Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 and a number of workshops. And we go much deeper into how to interact with clients, how to fill in forms, the legislative background in the UK. So if you are in the UK and you haven't done that as yet, do make sure to have a look at these workshops. They are on the website reikiscienceacademy.com, which I wonder whether, there we go, reikiscienceacademy.com. So they are hosted roughly, they're offered monthly at the moment. So there's a Reiki treatment workshop at the end of November, which is about how to give a professional treatment and how to write a treatment report and how to have an initial interview with a client, what to write down, and how to kind of deal with this information and how to keep it safe so that nobody else can access it. There is an intuitive Reiki workshop, which gives more ideas, original Japanese techniques as to how to sense where to place the hands. And then there's the Reiki, how to build Reiki business workshop, where we go much more into the legal sides, the legal requirements, health and safety, all the kind of practical things that you need to know in the UK. So if you are in the UK and you haven't looked at that, do check that out at reikiscienceacademy.com. And elsewhere, just have a look, just Google Reiki legislation in Southern California or wherever you are. And just it does take a little bit of effort, but just make sure you fulfill all these requirements. But it really is not that difficult. And if you feel you really want to do it and you need this little bit more momentum and support, use this Reiki share now to get the support. Set your intention that the Reiki you are now receiving will put you on track, will set you up, will give you the momentum, the excitement, the opportunities to set up your own Reiki business. And of course, also let it help you, let it heal you, let it support you. And at the same time, share Reiki with everybody on this Reiki share now, and with everybody who is going to watch at a later stage. So with this in mind, let's now, for the last kind of 10 minutes or so, just share Reiki. So however you do it, just take a moment to connect to Reiki, close your eyes and just really feel the connection. And then just set your intention, or if you've learned it, just draw the connection or the distance symbol to connect with everybody else on this Reiki share. Then just let Reiki flow. Just relax, observe what Reiki is doing. Let Reiki support you, heal you, connect you. And then you can slowly just take a moment to thank Reiki and come back into the here and now and open your eyes again. I just found it particularly powerful. This was really very special. So thank you. Thank you for sharing Reiki with me. It's been amazing to have this connection. And just looked at the comments. There is one saying, I grew my Reiki business organically, mainly through word of mouth, and I was eventually able to give up my day job, which I think is just fabulous. So this is how it can go. It doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to give up your job. You can do it in addition. It's really just see what feels right. And there was one question about the accredited courses. So in the UK, the Reiki diploma training as complete training with all the modules is accredited, and you can then be a registered Reiki practitioner with a complementary and natural healthcare council. And so if you've done that training, you can also put on your website that you have taken accredited courses. And I think that is it. There we go. That's the question about the accreditation. So thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the community. Have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next week again. And I don't know the topic. Very interesting. So I suppose it will just come at some stage. At the moment, I'm not sure. That's very interesting. I think it's going to be a very deep topic about our own development and how Reiki helps with that. So let's see what comes between now and next week. And I am so looking forward to seeing you again next week.